Gear Patrol calls their new dive watch the best sub-$500 dive watch. Full stop. Men's Health rated them as the most stylish solar watch in the game. Who are we talking about? It's Movement. They're leveling up your gift giving with the sleekest watches you can buy and the biggest deals of the season. From their innovative ceramic materials to sexy automatic divers, from ultra-thin dress watches to solar-powered statement pieces, and everything in between, Movement is making sure you're the good gifter this year for your family, your friends, or for yourself. And now you can take advantage of 30 to 50% off Movement's California clean watches, jewelry, and accessories to get them a gift they'll never forget. With fast, free shipping and returns and amazing bang for your buck, Movement makes for a relaxed shopping experience. And with one-size-fits-all watches, it's an easy, elegant gifting experience too. Shop 30 to 50% off now at mvmt.com. That's mvmt.com.
Welcome back to the Potted Together podcast. I'm Becca, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Adam and Nicole.
Hi. Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
I was just thinking that we don't have a slogan. Potted together where we get potted together, or potted together where we were all transplanted together. I don't know. We don't have a slogan.
I was listening to this podcast the other day called You're Wrong About. Have you heard it?
Yes.
No.
Okay. It's cute. And every episode they have a new slogan. You're wrong about the episode where we tell you what you're wrong about. Or but every episode, based on the topic, it's something funny.
That's a great podcast. I'll turn that on every once in a while when I'm feeling especially studious and want to learn something.
Well, the one, sorry to break it to you, but one of the co-hosts just said this past week that he's leaving. Mike. Yeah, I'm so sad because
really,
I really like him. Yeah.
How can it go on?
She's going to continue it, Sarah. She's just going to continue it.
By herself?
Yeah, she's going to have guests on often.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, that would be so awkward to do this podcast without one of you. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would continue, and it would have to have a different name.
But you have to listen to this latest episode of theirs, because as they were talking, it was really sad, but they approached it in a happy way. He was we sat down, and when we had this conversation, we both came together and we just realized this isn't I don't have any more to give to this podcast, and I wasn't really happy with doing it. It didn't bring me joy anymore, and it was oh my God, what a sad reality to face. But at the same time, he's gonna go out and do other things, and I'm just all I kept on thinking was, oh my God, are we ever gonna have that phone call? Got really sad.
I think it'll be a few more seasons before that happens.
Yeah, I would hope
more than a few.
I would hope so.
I don't see us breaking up. Although, okay, listen, when not couples, but when groups break up, I feel there's usually bad blood, but they're not going to say that.
Yeah.
There was this travel YouTube duo that I followed. They were called Damon and Joe, and there was some bad blood in that breakup, but they made it seem like it was very, they're not going to be yeah, we're in a legal battle right now. They're not going to say that.
Right.
But that's what was happening, because she got cast for a Netflix travel show and he didn't. And she took it. She took the deal, which I don't know if I can really fault her for that, but I think it was everything that happened thereafter that just wasn't good.
No, yeah, I
don't know, you have this huge, Netflix offers you a show. Would you say no if they don't let your partner do it?
No.
I don't know. That's a hard.
Is that
Listen,
the Damon Dominique that you watch?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So they weren't together romantically. They were just friends that were.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's gay as well.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. So they were just really, really good friends, and they traveled and made amazing content. They started a whole company together. major travel company. And I mean, he like branched off and now is doing so much like on YouTube, and he's incredible. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. So cinematic, so thoughtful, and he's really funny. So it was definitely probably better for his career to like section off, but I'm sure in the moment that sucked. Yeah. And he was very nice about it, because I think she really screwed him.
Oh, well see, I feel like obviously as we grow and we get bigger, it may become more like detrimental if one of us were to leave, because it could be a huge source of income for some people. But like as of right now, like if you got a Netflix offer or like a YouTube thing, I'd be like, go do that shit.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
You know? But mainly I think it's because we come together every week and we're honestly just sitting down for an hour or two and having a conversation about a topic. Like we don't do a ton of some of our episodes are going to require more research, but like we don't do a ton of research. It doesn't take a ton of our energy. I think the most person that's or the person that's putting in the most work is probably Adam, because he's editing the episodes. But like for us, we're just showing up, you know?
Right. Yeah. We just show up and there's a shiny new episode every week and we're like, oh.
There it is.
Yay.
Let me remember to post on Instagram Monday morning and not forget. Oh, I have a funny story. Can we start with our weekly update, and can I start?
Yes.
Yes,
okay.
we can. And
It revolves. It revolves around the podcast. Okay, so this Monday was Indigenous Peoples Day. Yay, yay, yay. No school, right? So I'm like, okay, I could sleep in on Monday. It's a good day. We stay up really late. We were watching Midnight Mass. If you haven't seen Midnight Mass on Netflix, highly suggest it if you like all things to do with vampires, zombies. Yeah, watch it. Anywho, we stayed up really late watching that, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to go to sleep. I set my alarm early Sunday morning because I was trying to be a good podcast host, and remember I need to post at 7 a.m. when the episode goes live. So my alarm went off at 7 a.m. That's totally fine. I could just shut my alarm off, right? No, I couldn't shut my alarm off because a few months ago I dropped my phone and my screen cracked. We all remember this. You guys couldn't see me in our FaceTimes for a while. It was very blurry. And then I got it fixed, and I've been having nonstop issues with my phone. Well, I went to go shut off my alarm and I couldn't see my screen. So I pressed the side button 3 times on the side of my phone. It dialed 911 on myself. So I called 911. It sent out an emergency EMS to all of my contacts, like that I have in my emergency thing. So like 6 people, 7 a.m. get this emergency thing. Like, oh my God, Nicole's in a ditch somewhere. It was horrible. I was awake. Needless to say, I posted on Potted Together Instagram, but it was horrible because like, this is the second time this has happened. I can't remember if I talked about this before, but like, I'm like, at what point do you call 911 enough where it's a false alarm, where they're just like, okay, listen, you're pranking us. Like, stop doing this. Like, we're going to arrest you type thing. You know, like, I feel like I took that phone call away from somebody that really needed it.
No.
Oh, gosh. No,
Okay.
I bet that happens a lot with that rapid, because if you press it really quickly, like 5 times, it'll start calling 911. That's happened to me a few times, and I like hang up really fast and nothing happens, but I'm like, oh God.
I didn't even know about this. I didn't even know about this feature.
Did I tell you what happened to me with this feature when I was in Orlando?
Oh my gosh, no.
Okay, well, I have a story to tell. But first of all, I do want to address that I don't feel that you have to wake up at 7 a.m. to post when the podcast posts. Like that's never been a requirement.
I don't feel that way either.
Like maybe sometime in that morning, but I feel like you just put pressure on yourself that didn't need to be there, because honestly, I wouldn't wake up to submit a post and then go back to sleep. Like, don't do that.
No, this is the thing. I'm usually awake. I wake up at 6:30 because I have to take the kids to school. So like I'm awake anyway. It's just a reminder for myself. So the alarm was a reminder. It wasn't to wake up.
Okay.
But we all know I don't post at 7 a.m. every Monday. Like, let's be honest. Usually it's like 2 p.m. and Adam's like, hey, are you planning on posting today? But yeah, no, I mean, thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, so can I do my quick story? Not about my week. We can get back to your week.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I was in Orlando, Universal Studios, having the time of my life, back in June. And first of all, Orlando, you just can't take anything on the rides with you. Gone are the days when you went on roller coasters and you could put your bag in a little square box and you came back and you could take it. Because they load and unload at different spots now. So I always had, every ride I had to rent a locker to put my bag in. It was annoying. But anyway, so I go on Hagrid's Magical Creatures ride, and it was amazing, by the way. And my phone was in my pocket, and the ride, I secure myself in a roller coaster because I just have this idea I need to not be able to move even a little. I will push it so hard, the restraints, that I can't breathe because I'm just nope, I can't. I can't budge. Yeah, it's bad. I have a little anxiety. I always try to get it to do one more click. I'm like, just one more. Anyway.
Wouldn't that put pressure on it though?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to think about that.
I'm getting creepy Final Destination vibes.
Anyway,
my gosh.
Oh gosh, yeah. The ride was amazing. Get off the ride, I look at my phone, and it has activated emergency beacon, and I was like, oh crap, I thought it was calling 911 or whatever. I don't know if it actually did call 911. So I ended it, no big deal. Went and got lunch. During lunch, I get a text message from my ex-wife that said, "Are you okay?"
Oh no.
And apparently I had her set up as my emergency contact. And when I opened the text message, because you could see it said, "Are you okay?" When it opened up the text message, it sent out the emergency beacon. It said Adam Banzoff has submitted, has activated an SOS. And then it shows a map of your location.
Yes.
And the map said I was in the Forbidden Forest. I was like, you can't make it up. I was like, it showed the whole text of emergency beacon, and then it had my little dot, and it just said Forbidden Forest, and I was like, what the hell?
I'm surprised she didn't text you with, what the fuck are you doing?
BRB, going to Hogwarts.
Oh my god.
Oh no. No, mine just showed me in my bed.
Yeah. She was good about it. So I changed it because I was just like, oh, I did not know that was a thing. I didn't know it did that.
Yeah. No, it sent it to my friend Nikki. It sent it to her mom, to my mom, to Ted. Everybody's sleeping. Jay's next to me sleeping. His phone's buzzing, going off. I'm like, God, I gotta update this shit.
That's so funny. Well, I mean, you got to catch up with the next. Nicole woke up the whole family.
Yeah.
It was a great week.
Bringing people together.
Wow. Yeah, that emergency system. I really need to check and see who's on mine and make sure it's not it would be really awkward if it reached out to one of my exes.
I mean, it was awkward for me too, given the circumstances. But then I was like, well, at least it was really, really nice of you to check in on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is nice.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, cringe. I felt so bad, and I was like, oh, this is cringy. But the Forbidden Forest was the cherry on top of the cake. I was like, yes.
That's hilarious.
Oh my God.
I mean, honestly, if I'm being honest, that was the update. That was the highlight of my week, was Monday's wake up call. Not much else happened this week. It's been kind of boring.
You've been watching lots of spoopy movies.
Yes, I have. Well, it's spoopy movie season, so 'tis the season. I've watched Halloween 1, 2, 4, and 5 twice already.
What happened to 3?
3's the worst. Okay, Halloween fans out there. 3, Halloween 3 is called The Season of the Witch, okay? It doesn't even have Michael Myers in it. So right from the jump, just blasphemy. Yeah. So I just don't even bother with number 3. But I will tell you, I just realized that there's a Halloween 6, and I'm slightly embarrassed to admit that I didn't know about this movie. And Paul Rudd is in it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Really?
love me some Paul Rudd.
I wasn't expecting that, but yeah. Paul Rudd. And
What in the...
and Michael Myers is in it, and it looks really good. So I'm excited about that. And I'm also excited that there's a new one coming out tomorrow called Halloween Kills.
Wait, so you didn't... Is Halloween Kills, is that number 7?
No. So here's the breakdown, okay? There's the original... Becca, for anyone wondering, Becca just rolled her eyes to the back of her head. Okay. There's Halloween 1,
Nicole's
2.
like in her element. This is Nicole at her peak. She's peaking right now.
I am my best person right now. So there's 1 through 6 now that I found out. And then Rob Zombie redid 1 and 2. So the originals, he redid them, which he did a really good job at redoing them. I just can't watch them when the kids are here because it's like an hour of the movie is just naked women and tons of profanity. Anyway, but he did a really good job with the story. So there's that. And then there's H2O, which is Halloween 20 years later, which is with Jamie Lee Curtis. That's a really good one. That's with Josh Hartnett. Hartnett?
Yeah.
Are you guys there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gone.
Oh, I was still...
She dipped off.
Uh-oh.
There's our girl.
I don't know what happened. Let me get off the Wi-Fi. Okay, where did I leave off?
H2O, Josh Hartnett.
Josh Hartnett. So that's a really good one. Then there's Halloween Resurrection. That's with Tyra Banks and Busta Rhymes. That one wasn't that great. It was okay. I know. And then there's Halloween from 2018, which is another good one. Then that's the last one, I think. Ooh, am I a true fan? Yeah, I think that's the last one. And now there's another one coming out tomorrow.
I saw H2O in theaters, Halloween 20, or the 20-year one in theaters, and my mom was just like, I went with my mom and my brother and a friend, and we were driving home after the movie, and she's like, we have to watch the first one because it's nothing will ever compare to that. But as a child, seeing H2O and then going back 20 years to seeing the original, I was like, this is boring.
Yeah.
I was like, no, thank you. Where's all the blood?
Where's all the blood? Where's all the special effects?
Yeah.
I think that the scores of scary movies is really what made them. Like, the music behind it is just the best, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, so there's the breakdown, Becca, in case you wanted to binge Halloween. If you're listening to this, Halloween has passed. It was last week. Sad, sad, sad.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're in happy season.
Well, actually, it's
I'm in
just
Hawaii.
You're in Hawaii. Look at
I'm in
you.
Hawaii right now.
Look at you living your best life. Cue the tropical
Having
music.
a blast. Yeah, cue the tropical music. Having a blast. There we go.
Drinking a Mai Tai.
That's so funny. I don't think I've ever had a Mai Tai.
Ooh. Have one. And a pina colada. Yum, yum,
Ooh,
yum.
yum. Yes. Cool. Well, Adam, would you like to share your week?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We need a kitty update.
Kitty update. The kitties are getting along
Good.
now. They're tolerating each other. They're doing a little sniffs of each other's noses and butts, and everything's fine. There's no more hissing, which has been good.
Aw.
This last weekend, I went over to my friend Lydia's house and we made dumplings. That was really fun.
Oh, yeah, I
saw that. Were they delicious?
Yeah, they were so good. So Lydia's parents are Korean. Well, and so is Lydia, obviously. And so we were celebrating Korean Thanksgiving, I think. And it was like a dumpling making lesson. And it was really interesting, but also like... I don't want to sound rude, but I just got bored of it really quick. Like, I don't want to work that much for my food. I don't have to do that. And I didn't even do any of the work. Like, her mom made all of this delicious food, but she did show us how to fold the dumplings. And it was really fun to do. Like, I looked at Steve and I was like, we need to figure out how to, like, we need to get the recipe for the innards of the dumplings because it was really good. And it was actually easy. I was like, we could do this at home. Like, we could do this
and then
on
you
our
can
own.
come over here and then you can be a guest on Nicole's Clean Kitchen.
Yes.
See, full circle.
But her mom and her dad, they were just so kind, and they didn't make fun of us for our awful dumplings, because some of mine, like my first few, I was like, woof, that does not look good. But
I feel like the good thing about food, though, is that it can not look good and still be delicious. So, like...
Yeah, and it was.
Yeah.
It was so delicious.
Yeah.
And then other than that, I've been like just, watching my regular shows. I watched all of Squid Games.
Oh, no spoilers.
I'm not going to give spoilers.
We're on 5.
Ooh.
Have you watched it, Becca?
No.
It's so good.
The only reason I started watching, well, not the only reason. I saw the preview like a week ago and I was like, oh, this looks interesting. But it was like an audio. It's obviously in Korean. Mm-hmm. And it was audio dubbed. And I live my life with subtitles on. And so I was just like, I just don't know if I want to handle this tonight. But then so I finally started watching it because I saw it everywhere on TikTok, the red light, green light.
Oh,
and I was
really?
like, I need to know what all these TikToks are talking about. So I watched it and it was very good.
Yeah, we have it dubbed in English. I really wanted to watch it in Korean with subtitles because I just feel like sometimes they mess it up. Like they mess up the character for me with the voiceovers. Just doesn't match up.
Yeah, well, there's a big hubbub about it being like the translations just being completely screwed up. Like the translation, like not completely screwed up, but it does change perspectives. Like, yeah, I've seen a couple of people explain, like Korean speaking people explain how the English translation was messed up.
So that the dubbed version or the subtitles?
That's also, I think it was the subtitles, but the dubbed version and the subtitles were also different. So like while watching it with the English dubbed and the English subtitles, they weren't matching up. Like they were using different phrases. Yeah, I thought so too. But then
language is just wild because there's so many different ways to say the same thing.
Right.
And other, like that's just so wild.
Right.
But as I was, watching the English dubbed version, it made me realize like how much goes into like redubbing a movie in a different language, because not only is it the speaking that they have to do all of the sounds, like all of the ambient sounds, everything.
Right. So it's like filming a whole other movie, really.
Yeah. So
it's really good though. If you're not watching it, I highly recommend, because but if you have anxiety, maybe don't. Because wow, it's so intense. So intense.
Is it like a thriller? Well, I know it's super gory.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Because I kept falling asleep.
Really?
So
I don't know if that's saying much, because don't you always do that?
That's my nightly routine. Fall asleep on the couch around 9 and then wake up and go to bed around 11:30.
What a life. What a life. That's so funny.
But yeah, it was good. And then American Horror Story's on, and American Crime Story, the Monica Lewinsky. I've been watching that.
Yeah, we're behind one episode. Me and my mom are watching that. I was talking to you guys, I think I texted you yesterday about the documentary on, I think it's Netflix. No, HBO Max maybe. What was it called again? Shit.
15 seconds?
15 Minutes of Shame. And Monica Lewinsky narrates it. So she talks about it. It's pretty much about cancel culture. And it's so good. And so watching that American Crime Story with about her story, it was just like, God, it's so unfortunate that she had to go through all that, Yeah.
It's how horrible. She was portrayed, all of it. It was wild
really
times.
Yeah.
Because of a man.
All because of a man.
Patriarchy.
How about you, Becca?
Okay, let's see. Well, speaking of the patriarchy, I shared this on TikTok, but Nicole didn't see it.
No, I didn't.
On TikTok. This is something that my friends and I say. Ask not what you can do for the patriarchy. Ask what the patriarchy can do for you. Okay?
Wait, there's a story that goes along with this.
Okay, I'll just like very quickly share the story. So a couple weeks ago, my Wi-Fi went out. So we reset the router, as one does. And it was a routine router reset. But for some reason, I put the cord back in the wrong spot. I don't know why. I've never done this before. And it still wasn't working. So Daniel looked at it. He couldn't see what was wrong. And it was one of those plug-in things that's not like a power plug-in. It's like the cable plug-in.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the old phone jack cord.
Exactly. Because I live in the 1930s in this house. Yes.
Well, Ethernet, yeah.
No, you don't.
So yeah, that was plugged into the wrong hole. Neither of us realized. It's even like colored green, so you know exactly where to put it. Anyway, we messed it up. He called the Wi-Fi company. They come out, check the perimeter. I happen to be home alone. And he comes inside. He's like, well, I don't see anything out there. Let me check your router. And then he goes, you know what? It's just plugged into the wrong port here. So here's what we're going to do. And I don't remember what he said, but he like alluded to me being like single and alone living in this house. And like he like asked me like, oh, like, are you here alone or something like that? And like I didn't answer because you don't answer that. He didn't ask it in a creepy way. I think he was more or less trying to like justify it to himself, like, oh, she doesn't have someone to take care of her, so I'm going to right now by not charging her for this visit, you know?
Oh, wow.
No, little lady.
Nicole's face is all scrunched up.
Yeah. So many
So
eye
he
rolls.
He goes, so here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to pretend like I didn't come inside and there was a problem on the perimeter and I fixed it and that's it. So you don't have to get charged because it's like 80 or 100. It's expensive to have them come out. And I was like, oh my gosh, that would be so great. Like, I have no idea how I did that. Thank you so much. I mean, I'm still very thankful. He was a super nice guy. Yeah. But that is a result of the patriarchy, ladies and gentlemen. That right there. This well-meaning gentleman still assumes that I'm a helpless woman.
Yeah.
I don't think he meant it in a mean way, but that is just how men are conditioned to regard women a lot of the time. So they want to take care of you, not all the time, but you know, I've noticed that a lot here. Like they feel inclined to like do things for you. And hey, I'll let them load the wood in my car. That's fine. They can wrap it up. Like, that's fine. What can the patriarchy do for me? That's what it can do for me.
That's hilarious.
That's right.
That is so funny.
I felt like that story was going to take a different turn when you were talking about, like, he thinks I was home alone. I thought it was going to be like the delivery guy thinks he's living in a pornography. He was like, I got a pizza for you with extra sausage.
And it's his sausage. His personal sausage.
That was implied.
Oh. Okay, out of like your TikTok, like I feel like such a teenager because I was like, I just don't get it. We don't need to explain.
Wait, but TikTok. So you posted a couple days ago, Adam, about Wicked being on TikTok, and I was like, son of a bitch, I'm gonna have to get TikTok now.
No.
And I didn't. Was it bad?
It was clickbait. I'm actually annoyed by it. It was just some of the cast going live chatting.
Bullshit.
I was like, you on your Instagram said like Wicked will be live tonight and at 8 p.m. Eastern. I was like, oh, they're doing the show. No, it wasn't. I was annoyed.
Oh, thank God. I feel better now.
Annoying. Okay. Well, I have one last thing to update on, and then we should get into it.
Yeah.
So that we don't have an hour update, although it feels like we're getting there. But okay, so I have wanted to do the greenhouse. We know I've probably chatted about it on the pod.
Yeah, you did.
And I was like, okay, I want to get this done before the year end because honestly, that would be better for taxes, have higher expenses, less taxable income.
Yep.
Becca the businesswoman.
Yeah. I was talking to my mother, who is my accountant, and she's like, is there any other expenses that you could have this year? And I'm like, a greenhouse, if I can swing it. So anyway, it is going to happen. It's going to happen. And after like 6 days, my grandparents were just visiting me. And it was so sweet. Like, I was so sad all day yesterday because they left. And I always cry when my grandparents leave. I'm so close with both of all of my grandparents I've always been really close with. So it's so cool that I'm an adult and they're visiting my house. And it's just, I don't know, it feels like a full circle moment. So
Yeah.
I just was really emotional and it was a great week hanging out with them. And, hold on. My phone is like going off in my ear. Anyway, so the whole time they were here, I was like badgering them, like, oh, what should I do about the greenhouse? What should I blah, blah, blah. They were probably so annoyed with me at the end of it.
No.
But finally, I reached out to a bunch of companies again, because I've already reached out. And I put Daniel's name instead of my name. And guess what?
No.
Somebody called me back.
Stop.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And like, I don't remember reaching out to this company, but they said that they got my info from Angie's List. So it wasn't one that I reached out to. I might have like submitted a form and like not realized. Like, I don't really know because I don't remember looking at their website. They don't even have a website. So I don't know how they got my information. Honestly, I don't care. I'm just glad that somebody called me.
Yeah.
But so maybe it wasn't a patriarchy thing. I always want to find like a way to blame it on that, but no, I think people are just honestly very busy this at the end of the year, and like you can't do construction after a certain point here because the ground freezes,
Right.
which is another new concept to me because that's not a thing. Like construction is when, like winter is when construction ramps up in Tucson because it's not
Right.
hot and people can actually be outside. So that was a learning thing. I'm like, oh, you can't actually be outside in the winter. Makes sense. So what I need to do is get a foundation built. And I'm going to do like a rock foundation, but the ground is really off level, unlevel,
Yeah, unlevel.
Yeah.
sloped, whatever. It's sloped.
Uneven.
Uneven. Yes. Words.
There, we got there.
So it's super
I
sloped.
was very confident in my unlevel word.
Unlevel. Yeah, me too. I don't know where I went. So it's something that we might have been able to do by ourselves, but we'd have to rent like heavy machinery, and it's a whole thing, and we don't know how. I don't want to like have the greenhouse collapse on top of my head because it gets swept out or something.
Yeah.
So they came out yesterday to look at it, and he's like, oh yeah, it's a small area. You would only need one person to do it, and you just blah blah blah. I was like, okay. And I was like, so what do you think about timeline? Because I'd love to do it by the end of the year, but I know that people are busy. And he's like, oh well, depending on the weather, we could probably get it done in the next month, because it's like a 1 day 1 person project.
Nice.
So if just somebody is free, they can just come out and do it real quick.
Yeah.
So if that happens and they are able to do that, as soon as that thing is done, I'm headed out to the store and I'm getting my lumber and I'm getting my polycarbonate sheeting, and we are building the greenhouse.
You're gonna build it.
We're gonna build it.
DIY,
Oh
yes.
DIY.
Gosh.
And like, I know that I wanted to like spend more money, but I can't justify spending $6,000 on something that costs $800 in materials to build. Literally, I mapped it out, $800.
Yeah, I feel like that's that price
everything.
point. At that point, it's like if you mess it up, it's easier to take that hit than, you know what I mean? Like, and plus it's going to be so rewarding building your own greenhouse, I think.
Yeah. That's also a part of it. Like, it's so gratifying to know that I built it, or I will have built it. Like, that's how I feel about the garden, so much of that I built, and it just feels really good to know that. And I'm an independent queen. I love doing things by myself, sometimes to a negative degree, but it's just like, I'm like, oh, can I do this greenhouse entirely by myself? Probably, except for the rafters. Okay, so blah, 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 blah. And I'm like thinking like all the ways that I could not ask for help, which is a little toxic, but I don't know. Like, I just think that it's, I just think it's going to be so fun to build something like that. And obviously now Daniel can help me. Thank God.
Yeah.
So that's good. I'll have for sure a helper for like the rafters and things like that. But yeah, and it's going to cost $800 in materials.
So great.
Possibly more, because I might want to do it bigger than I originally mapped, but probably like at that point 1,000, which is 1/6 of the price if I bought it.
Go big or go home. That's what I say. Not really.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
what about the weather? Are you discouraged at all by like the snow and stuff, or are you're not going to wait till spring?
To build it?
Yeah.
No.
You think you can get it done?
Yeah, it didn't get like excruciatingly cold here until like end
January.
of December.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was cold, but it's gonna take us like 2 days to build it. Like it's not.
Oh.
I watched somebody's YouTube video and I feel kind of bad. Like I don't want to like talk shit about them at all. I don't want it to come across like that. But they just didn't. Like I just was watching them and they did it in 2 days. It seems like they've never built anything. I'll just say that. They built a greenhouse and then they built the foundation. And I was like, oh, what?
Oh,
That's
wow.
confusing. Maybe they didn't know how sloped their ground was. I don't know them. And I as a YouTuber, know that there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So maybe they had their reasons. They didn't think that they needed to level the ground. And then they realized that they did. So then they started like jacking it up to like put cinder blocks underneath it. It was a helpful video to know how to like how quickly it can be done with 2 people, because it's just cutting 2x4s and screwing them together. That's literally all it is.
Yeah.
So that's basically the plan as of right now, and it could happen.
That is so exciting.
So the people that are coming out to level the ground, are they doing a foundation as well? Or are you just going to do like river rock or some kind of rock pebble thing?
Yeah, it's just going to be like a gravel foundation.
Okay.
And they're
Yeah.
doing it?
Huh?
They're doing it? Like they're bringing all the supplies and stuff? Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And like I was looking at how much it would cost before I reached out to people so I would know what a good price is. And the price they gave me was like pretty middle ground. So it's not the minimum, but it's definitely not the maximum. So I'm like, okay, I feel like I've done like a ton of research about this and I'm making a good decision financially.
I'm sure
And
it's much
also-
cheaper than concrete.
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper than concrete. And also, like, I literally could not do that by myself. So, even with
Yeah.
Daniel, I wouldn't feel safe doing it. So, yeah, it's going to be a rock foundation and then build a greenhouse on top of that. And it'll be right next to the garden.
Yay. I'm so excited.
Me
And
too.
I know this is all being filmed. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it is all being filmed. Okay, that's my only update other than, family visiting. And yeah, we're
Big
going
ass
up.
update.
We're going up this weekend to Iowa to cut a ton of wood because one of Daniel's friends has to like cut down a huge tree and said we could have all the wood. So we're going to be lumberjacks this weekend.
Fun.
You better vlog that.
That'll be
I will.
fun.
Okay.
I will. But yeah, that's it.
Are you going to set up a time lapse for when they're leveling off the ground? Like do you think you could put the camera in a window in one of the
Ooh, that would be
windows?
cool.
That's what I was thinking of doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be like creepy, but like I watch YouTubers who film people, but I don't know, like construction
I mean, all you gotta
workers.
do is ask them if you can record it. Be like, this is like a monumental thing for me, and can I
Yeah.
just do a time lapse of you doing
Unless
it?
he's like the pizza delivery guy and you're like, can I film you? And then he starts unbuttoning his shirt. You're like, no.
No,
No,
you
sir.
don't get it. It's not that. Oh God, scary. Yeah, but he was a really great guy. I mean, people here are you can find some good people here.
Yeah.
Good country folk.
Yeah.
And they're very sweet. So he was the nicest guy. We sat and chatted for a bit. He told me about his kids, and I was like, "You're hired. I don't even need to see the quote.
Just level my ground.
Forget the money. You just want to hang out."
Would you like some lemonade?
Yeah.
That reminded me.
Dinner.
Oh, sorry.
Bring your kids. Bring your wife. I
Ooh,
don't know.
leave the
I'm like
kids,
always
leave the
looking for
kids.
friends, like for us. So I'm like, you're cool. Maybe we should have dinner.
Yeah, that made me think of the sweet, sweet lady we met when we were visiting with the
Oh yeah.
with the Selim. Wait, she's the one that gave you the Selim, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Have you spoke to her lately?
Here and there, kind of. I mean, I don't know. It got a little strange, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It was good, but like
it felt a little flighty, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't feel the need to keep like in contact, but I do have her number.
I was channeling Michael Myers when we were invited into the house. I was like, this seems like something I'd watch on television.
Uh-oh. No,
but then she turned out to be a Democrat, and it was all good.
Yeah, not only a Democrat, but a Bernie Democrat.
A Bernie Democrat.
A Bernie babe, yeah. No, she was really cool. She just, like, she got a little strange when we started talking about kids. Like, I was saying, yeah, I want kids someday. And then she just was like, make sure you have kids if you can. And was, like, very adamant. And I was kind of like, I don't know if that's just, like, an ick. Like, it literally is so dumb for me to be like, Yeah. But I don't know. I think I'm kind of flighty sometimes. Like, I'll get an ick and I'm like, nope, bye, never mind. I don't want to.
Was she sizing up your hips to be like, okay, yep, we can have the kids. These are some strong
please
ones.
Have kids. You've got birth-given hips. I probably do, honestly. I am very curious about how this is going to go. I just watched somebody's birth vlog, and she was, like, silent the whole time she was giving birth. Were you?
Was it? No, hell no, I wasn't silent.
It was
but
Aspen.
Aspen, yeah. So I watched that birth vlog and I was like, can you fucking scream just once? But then again, we're also YouTubers, and it didn't. They had some cuts in there, so she was probably like, cut that out. I look like a demon.
Yeah, there was probably a part where she was like, get the fuck away from me.
But I also cried like a baby after watching that video. I don't know what it is about women giving birth.
Same.
I don't want any more children. I don't. But it's just so like...
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
When the labor and delivery nurse was like, Aspen, keep going. You're almost there. I was like bawling my... It doesn't matter who it is, where it is, whatever. If I'm like watching the experience of somebody giving birth, I am a bucket of tears. It's beautiful.
And then her husband's just like hugging her leg and being like, it's okay, you got this, you got this.
She's doing so good. I was like, she is.
She's so great.
She's so quiet.
This little lady's so quiet.
And she's so small. She's such a small framed girl. And I'm like, that has to fucking hurt. Like, you're breaking something pushing that baby out.
Yeah.
Cutest baby ever.
Yeah, she said last time that she tore, and this time she tore a little bit, but like her body ripped open, and she was just like, no. But they've said before that like she didn't want to be like screaming and having this like really chaotic environment for the baby to be born into. So maybe it's like a conscious choice that she's like, I'm not going to do that. But I know that when my mom was giving birth, it was not quiet. It was not quiet.
Wait, were you there? Were you there?
No, but I heard it from just about everybody. Like, her face was like beet red. Like, my dad said he was like actually kind of scared for her. My grandma almost fainted. Like, everybody was like, oh God. I mean, you're pushing a gigantic thing out of your tiny little hole. So like, scream all you want.
Yeah. If you're going to scream at all in your life, let it be at that moment in time. I'm sticking to it. I think that they cut it out. She had to have let out a few yelps there. She had to. There's no way.
I think, and I think it would be kind of awkward to like watch somebody do that you don't know, like screaming. Like, I mean, it's just very like,
yeah.
So maybe it's good that they did. Okay. Anyway, like, how do we get talking about childbirth?
I don't know how that happened.
I didn't even mention earlier what the topic is. So we are going to talk about selling plants and everything that's involved with making a little money off of some propagations and everything else. We are not going to be speaking about it super technically as far as like taxes and all of that goes. We do know a little bit. I used to work at an accounting firm, so like I have a little bit of knowledge. My mom is an accountant. She's a CPA. She texted me back, by the way.
Oh.
So I'll put that information in when we get to that.
Okay.
But always, just as a preface, like always make sure that you're abiding by like state and federal taxes. whatever is needed, because if you don't, it could really be a problem later. So just make sure you're being careful with yourself legally. But selling plants is a great way to make extra money off of something you already have. So Adam and Nicole have both done it. I'd say they're both pros. I have not really done it besides like Facebook groups. So I'm really keen to learn more from them and possibly start doing it more, or just do it in general. So let's start with, like, I don't know. What do you think is a good starting point? Like, how, I don't know. Tell us how you guys have done it. Adam, you've done it the longest. So how have you done sales?
I kind of do it like kind of a myriad of different ways, but more than likely, if I do any kind of sale of plants, it's going to be on a Facebook group, and specifically like the Hoya Haven BST Facebook group. BST stands for Buy, Sell, Trade. So that group is a huge group in the U.S., and you can buy things on there, sell things on there, and create trades on there. Obviously, BST. But I've also sold on my Instagram stories before, and I did really enjoy that, but it also made me feel bad because not everyone's watching stories all day long. So if I put up a plant, and I want to say $30 for this cutting, the first person to see that story is going to grab it, and then nobody's none the wiser, which I was like, oh, I feel bad about that. But Facebook to me is usually a really good place to go. And I don't use like Facebook Marketplace. I just use like the groups. So this Hoya group, and there's, aroid groups, and there's a subcategory of groups for any plants that you're going to sell, I think. So yeah.
Is that the plant that you sell the most of, Hoya?
Yeah, just because they're easy. They're so easy to propagate.
And they're easy to ship. I feel like they hold up in the mail. Well, this is me speaking prematurely because I did this last week, which I'll talk about in a second. I just shipped them out and I haven't heard back from anybody yet. So I'm a little paranoid, but I feel like those plants hold up. They're like cactus,
Yeah. And propagating them is easy, unlike like Anthurium, or we've talked about that before, but like a lot of the plants that Becca has, like they're kind of hard to like propagate because it just causes the plant to grow just so differently, So Hoyas are not like that. Hoya, I mean, I don't know. It's so easy, and they're really great plants. So yeah, Facebook is usually my main go-to for sure.
So when you sell plants on Facebook, you're in this group. So obviously everybody in that group love Hoya, right? Mm-hmm. How many people are in the group? They're like hundreds or thousands?
Thousands. And that
buy, sell, trade.
Usually if I'm selling like a lot of cuttings, I'll and to be honest, I'm not a master at this, so I've learned from my other friends who do this more often. But you usually want to like tease it. You want to put a little post of 5 p.m. Eastern time tonight or 5 p.m. Mountain time tonight. I'm going to be doing a purge of some plants, which I hate using that word, but that's just like the word everyone uses. But like I'm selling some plants. And then you can list like some of the ones you have just to cause up, and maybe even attach a photo to the post to just cause a little like people will start commenting, following, that kind of stuff. Right. Just so when you start posting your plants, because you post them in the comments of that original post.
That's what I was going to ask. Okay.
You'll post like the name of the plant, the cost, and the picture, and then under that people will comment. So each group kind of has their own kind of like rhythm and ways to do things. Like I would just suggest if you want to sell plants in a Facebook group, just to look at the announcements on the group to see if there's rules. Like sometimes you have to, if you're going to do an auction, you have to have the minimum sent to an admin before the auction starts, so they know, if it gets met or not, that kind of stuff. Okay. Or if you're just going to plain out sell them, sometimes there's different like how you set up the sale, what you have to put in the description saying like where you're shipping it from, what the shipping cost is, that kind of stuff. But so they're all just a little different.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you also sold on Instagram stories, which that's where I kind of got the idea to do this. My plants are getting big, and I do have a lot of Hoya. And I realized that, I only have 2 shelves and I'm not getting another shelf. So I'm like, okay, I need to start propagating some plants. And I was thinking about obviously giving them to some friends, but then I was like, I could probably make a few extra bucks on these if I sell them on Instagram. And I've sold a few plants before on OfferUp, like locally. And it was a pretty good experience. Like I've maybe sold like 8 plants that way. Mm-hmm. And the only thing I don't like about that is that, they come to your house. And I did that right before we moved. So I was like, well, they're not going to know where I live because I'm moving anyway. So I didn't care about it. Otherwise, you'd probably have to meet them up. Like if you're selling on a local app, you'd probably have to meet up at a location like Facebook Marketplace. You do that too, right? But selling online always kind of freaked me out because I worry about shipping. And I've traded plants before, and I've always had a really good experience trading plants. And I've been told from the people I've traded with that the plants came in perfect condition and like no soil in the box, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, maybe I do know like how to do this,
Yeah.
So I propagated a few plants, and within like 2 weeks, like you said, Hoya are so easy to root. Like they really do start to root up. I just posted a YouTube video of me actually doing it and like transferring the plants to like these little plastic cups. Posted on an Instagram stories, and I pretty much just said best offer, which is another idea I got from you, Adam, which I think is a great idea because it takes a lot of time not only to prep your plants for sale, which I guess we could talk a little bit about that next. Mm-hmm. But it also takes time to like make the posts and to follow up with the posts and like to message all these people, then to package them for shipping and all that. I didn't want to take the time really to look up how much plants were worth because I wouldn't know where to start. Like, I feel like that whole process in and of itself is super overwhelming. And that's what's pretty much deterred me from doing it in the past too. So when you said like just post it and just say, give your best offer, people that are looking to purchase plants, I feel like they already know how much this plant is probably worth or what they're willing to pay for it because they've been looking for it, So they've already done the research. So it's like, okay, I'm just going to do that. Like I'm not making make a lot of money off these plants anyway. It's just something to do for fun, just to make a few extra bucks. And it like worked really well. Like I was shocked at how fast they all sold.
Yeah.
So yeah. So, I think it's a great way to make a few extra bucks, honestly. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you have them and you're looking to downsize your plants, obviously trading or getting rid of plants and giving plants to friends and family is a way to go for sure. But like if you're looking to make a few extra bucks before the holidays, especially, snip, propagate, and sell some plants online.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I feel like as a personal seller, I'm not so concerned with like being like, okay, it is work and it's a lot of work to like research prices because they fluctuate so much and they fluctuate so much on different things. Etsy's a little higher. Facebook can be a crapshoot with prices. So as long as I get my like original investment, which I hate even saying that considering plans and investment, but if I get my original like cost back, then I'm just like, whatever, like this is sharing. Like it does irk me though if people flip, like, you try to do a nice thing and you set like a low price or just being like, you know what, like all these cuttings are $20 and then someone gets one and flips it for more money.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we've talked about that before. You can go to hell. But
yeah.
You
can go straight to hell.
But yeah.
Someone posted that clip in a DM. Did you see it?
I did, yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I think the whole flipping plants thing is something else. But anytime that I have ever sold a plant, at minimum, I sell it for what I bought it for.
Right.
Like, especially even if it's a little piece, or no, if it's a piece like comparable size to what I bought it at, I'll charge the same as what I bought it at, or maybe more depending on the market value. So something that I have a hard time overcoming is, plants are very expensive and I want to sell them for a reasonable price. But at the same time, yeah, people could flip the plant. That's a thing, and make more money than you did for what? And also, this is a plant from your personal collection, and you have cultivated this plant on a personal level. And as Adam has said, he owns the mother plant. We know what the origin of the plant is, and there's so much value in that too. I mean, I almost prefer purchasing from private sellers more than nurseries these days. I mean, nurseries are still great, obviously, but you know that you're getting a plant from someone's personal collection. It's kind of a risk though, because some people are shady. So it's like, it's hard. But I guess for pricing, when you're thinking about pricing, your minimum should be what you paid for the plant.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I had a few really sweet comments of people just saying, like, I just wanted a plant from your collection. Like, that's, I don't care what it was. And I was like, that's the nicest. A few people said that, and I didn't even think about that. And I should have, because when I got plants from both of you, like, I look at those plants all the time, and those are like my most cherished plants. Or like when you get a plant from somebody that you know, or that you watch, or even if you're buying merch from a YouTube person you watch, it's like, you feel like you're invested in that person. So to have something from their collection is like, it's pretty cool, you know?
Yeah. It is. It's super special.
Yeah.
There's a few people that I would love to have a plant from their collection. Like just a little piece.
Just a little snip.
Just a snip. Very fun. Okay, so how does that go with like shipping and all of that stuff? Oh, I still have fruit flies flying around my house, you guys, unfortunately.
Fruit flies or fungus gnats?
Both.
I have fungus.
Well, fruit season.
Fungus gnats are coming back for me. I don't know what it is.
Yikes.
Fruit season's dying down, so you're done harvesting, right? For the most part right now.
Yeah, I'm done.
So
I'm not going to harvest anything else out of there. There's some like tomatoes and cucumbers. I'm eating the tomatoes just straight off the vine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll have some carrots and lettuce soon.
What's up, Doc?
What's up? But yeah, okay, so as far as like the packaging and the shipping, because I did the pumpkins, which was my taste of selling a product and shipping it and sending it and all of that. And I have that all set up through my website. So if you don't have a website, most people don't, you're just a private seller, how would you suggest billing, shipping? Like, how much do you charge for shipping? You know, are you charging for shipping materials? Like, what do you guys do with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that, like, sorry, I don't want to, like, hijack the whole episode.
Oh, no, you talk. You've done this I got all my info from you, so I'm going to say what you say.
So if you didn't know, you can order boxes from the post office. So plants, I send priority. That's 2-day. I think they've changed it to 3-day, and they may even be changing it to, say, 5-day now.
So update, it's 4 to 5 days.
Yeah. But you know,
I don't know why, but it is. So
it's probably because the houseplant community, to be honest,
Really,
inundating
so?
the post office. But no,
yeah,
you can get free boxes from the post office. So if you have a post office in your community, you can go there and pick up these priority boxes. They don't cost. It's the white boxes with it says priority mail on it. The ones that I use are like a square. So it's a small priority box, but it's a square. And they're usually not out in the lobby in the priority mailbox area where you can pick boxes. But I usually just ask an employee and they have them in the back and they bring me out. I was like, can I have like 25 or 30? And they just bring me a whole chunk of boxes. And I just keep them at my house. So if you don't want to do that, obviously there's other places you can get boxes. You can reuse boxes in your home. For my hats from notdude.com, plug. I just bought like 7x7x7 boxes at Staples.
Yeah, I found some on Amazon. It was 25 boxes for 21 bucks. So that's less than $1 a box. So that's pretty good too.
Yeah. Oh, also, if you don't live in a place like where you can get the walk to the post office, you can order them online, USPS.com, and they'll ship them to your house for free. So
wow, free boxes, free shipping.
Yeah, for priority mailboxes. Yeah.
Wow.
So
okay.
the priority mail cost is different based on the zone you're sending it to. So for me, whenever I sell plants, like in a Facebook group, I just say shipping and handling $15. Because it ranges from like $9.80 to like $12.30. Like it's just a range depending on where they're at in the United States. And again, this is for U.S. only. I'm sorry for our international listeners. But so I just say $15. That covers, for me, the packing material, which I use like reuse plastic bubble wrap if I have any from shipments that I've gotten. I use craft paper to like wrap the plants up and then create padding. So I just say flat 15 because I think that even if I'm only shipping, it's only going to cost $9.80. Well, that's $5 for my time, effort, shipping materials, driving to the gas station, driving to the post office. And some of them I only maybe like $2 over that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm being greedy by just saying 15, but it's just easier just to have an even number.
Just a flat. Yeah.
Well, I thought about that too, and I thought about like as I was printing some of these labels, because like you said, it really was a range from like $9.80 to like 12 something, and I had one Hawaii order that was a little bit more, but it does range, and then it does. I feel like that takes the bulk of your time, like not to nitpick, but it's like literally writing their address and a return address on a box. Do that for 25 people and it's going to take a good chunk of your time.
Yeah, it does take some time.
Yeah, and then I put a personalized note in each box. I usually try to do that. That takes time. That's packaging material, that costs money. And then like you said, just like the stuff that you're wrapping the plant in. But that's the one thing that I was worried about. I was like, oh, they're going to see that they didn't, like the shipping didn't cost that, but it's the handling that we do it when we order from companies too. Like there's shipping and handling charges too. So
yeah. When I was doing my pumpkins, I was worried about that, but the program that I use doesn't put the cost of shipping on the box, and I was like, oh, thank God. I mean, I did $5 flat rate, and some shipping was like $10. So, and other people's was like $3. So it just kind of evened out eventually. I hope, but I still made I think I made like $300 off the
That's
pumpkins.
amazing.
Yeah. Which I was surprised by.
Do you have any left? Because I was. I mean, you can take this out, but I kind of want to. I want a couple. So okay.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. You got it.
I'm not worried about it. I'm just gonna go buy them.
Oh, they're not on my website anymore, but.
Oh, they're not.
I had extras, but I wanted when I got to the end of it, I was like, oh well, I want extras to like send them to my friends, so I just pulled them off the website.
Oh, okay.
You weren't quick enough, Nicole. Some friend you are.
Well, it was the same situation where I didn't want to purchase them, and then you'd be like, Nicole, what the heck are you doing? Or like take that opportunity away from somebody else because you're my friend and I could just commission you to just make me a pumpkin anytime I want.
I understand. I understand completely. Okay, so it all evens out in the end. They're not only paying for shipping, but also the service of packaging the plant well and all the packaging materials, which is expensive.
Yeah, and I just think that if you're gonna try to like give them the like charge shipping the exact amount, that's just gonna like double your work. Maybe as just a personal seller without a website like you with a program that calculates, it's like you would have to go in and input the address and figure out how much shipping would be, and then you'd have to, charge them that. It just feels a lot easier to just say like flat rate, and people are fine with it because a lot of people do that,
I've never had, like, the one time I did it, not one person was like, oh, that's too much for shipping. Yeah. Everybody agreed to it. Everybody was fine with it. And as far as like a payment method, because we don't have a website set up, I used Venmo. I had one person send me Zelle, which I was a little hesitant to do because then you have to give either your phone number or my email is my other business email. But everyone has Venmo these days. Like everyone uses Venmo
or PayPal. So I don't even think you need to have a PayPal account to use PayPal, right?
Or PayPal. Yeah, you can use PayPal too.
Yeah, I think I strictly always just say PayPal goods and services, which does take a percentage off. So like if I sold a plant for $70 and someone paid me $70, I might only get $68.50 15, you know? But I'm willing to pay that little fee to just guarantee both of us are safe. Like both of us, like if the plant is screwed up, that you can, you know, charge, you can file a claim, and if something happens, like I'll be protected too. So
Yeah.
Okay.
I usually do goods and services, but again, you don't have to. I did see an article saying that Venmo was going to possibly start sending out tax forms.
Yeah. I'd say that you actually do have to, because you could get in a lot of trouble. See, this is where that conversation comes in.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah. So, because a lot of people are using it to avoid making more taxable income, but they're cracking down on it. PayPal definitely has, and you could get into some serious trouble if you're evading all of that. Or I think they're also like saying that they might just do it for you. They might just automatically do it if they sense that you're selling products or something like that.
Or this would probably be a good time to talk about what your mom said. What was that level? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're making, just on any side hustle situation, anything like that, if you're making more than $400 net profit a year off of something, then you have to claim that as income.
Wow,
And it would
400 net.
Yeah, it would be miscellaneous income. So, yeah, you do have to report 400 net. So that net profit is basically after your expenses. So let's say you make $500 selling plants. That's how much your profit was. But you had to spend $100 in shipping materials and cards and everything else. So then your net profit was only 400 because you made expenses to ship these things out. So, and then 400, so your gross 500, net 400. Just a little math accounting lesson real quick.
I always get the two mixed up because I thought gross was, and I shouldn't because I'm an entrepreneur, but like it's
like, I don't know the difference either, honestly. I just know because my mom literally just told me.
We have our own businesses, but we're not tax people. But yeah, that's really good to know. That's important to know because the money that I made off of those plants, I'll have to pay taxes on. And that's another thing you need to take into consideration too, is putting money aside for taxes. But we don't have to go all into that.
Yeah. But if you are interested in hearing something like that, you know, I was thinking about having my mom on a YouTube video to talk about that because I feel like it would be really helpful for people selling plants.
Yeah.
So
or on the pod. We can have her as a guest on the pod.
Yeah, we'd have her on the pod too. She would probably love that. Yeah. So it's just something to think about, and it's not something that'll be at the forefront of your mind, but you can get into a lot of trouble if you're not reporting it correctly. And even if you lose a little money, I say you just do it the right way, and you never have to worry about being audited or whatever else. And then you also know how much you're making. You keep track of these things.
Right.
It could become like a profitable business for you, actually, but you wouldn't know unless you were keeping track. So I'm not going to say to avoid tracking it or like reporting it, but I'm sure you could get away not reporting it, but I'm not going to advise that. So that's your thing.
Yeah. That's enter at your own risk.
Yeah, it's your own risk.
You know that Venmo thing where they said Venmo's possibly going to start generating 1099 miscellaneous like income forms. It made me think like, okay, well, what if I had like, okay, so let's just say us three were always together. And can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Sorry. I'm waiting for it to connect because it's
so let's say all three of us are always together and Becca has like a cashback card. So she always pays for everything. And then we're always paying you back for what you bought. Like, so if I gave you over $400, is Venmo going to like send you a tax form? Because that's not taxable. You know, like how do they figure it out? That's what I'm just like, I don't know how this is going to work.
Yeah.
There was definitely some backlash on it. I know there's articles we could probably search up that specify it a little bit more, but I know that they were, for that specific reason, there was some backlash because I could just look at my Venmo history and people that I'm friends with, and I could see people paying for dinner, paying for babysitting, dog walking, everything. That if you're doing that once a week, that adds up. $400 is nothing nowadays.
For a year, Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of...
Yeah. And like kids babysit all the time when they can't like legally work so they can make money. But like what if that kid makes $400 in a year? Is that child labor now? Like I don't, it's just kind of interesting like how that's all working out. I was babysitting probably when I was like 15 for money.
Oh gosh, I was like 12.
Yeah.
But I grew up in the 90s.
Yeah, before I could drive, I had to get a ride, but yeah, I don't know, that's interesting. I don't know how they're going to like work that out. Mm-hmm. And then also if you're selling stuff from your house, like if I sell my TV stand at, $300 or whatever, I make $300. Somebody purchased an item from me, but is that going to be like taxable? Am I going to have to add tax to everything? Like it's just,
This is a really good conversation to have. We should have your mom on. This is a good conversation to have and like to talk about and maybe do some more research on because I'm curious to know too. Yeah. I feel like if I know PayPal's been doing it for a while, but I feel like if Venmo does that, then it's like, what about all these other sites like OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace?
Yeah.
Because can't you pay through OfferUp? Like OfferUp has a payment option.
And Facebook too, Facebook Pay.
Okay, see, like I feel like all these apps are going to get on that train.
I do want to say real quick, Facebook Pay, or even sometimes you can get like send money requests through Facebook, but they use the PayPal channels, but they use the PayPal consumer channels and not the goods and services. So I have seen recently people being like, I paid for this plant through Facebook because they sent me a request through Facebook, but they had no recourse if something went wrong because it wasn't goods and services. It went through PayPal consumer. So just, be very wary of that. Protect yourself first and foremost.
Okay, what else should we talk about in regards to selling plants?
Honestly, that feels like...
Yeah, I mean, we all know what we should look for. We talked about this in a previous episode about what we expect when we buy plants online. Obviously, you expect the plant to be shipped in a good condition, no pests, no root rot.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Make sure you're being extra careful when you're sending out a plant that it doesn't have pests.
Yeah, triple check it.
Ooh, that's what makes me nervous. I'm like, does it have pests and I just don't know?
Me too, because, your girl's been dealing with some mealies, Yeah. But, I mean, I triple checked them and none of the plants I sold ever had mealies. But, all of our plants cohabitate. They're all on one plant shelf and they're together and they mingle and things can happen. So you just want to really check it. I feel like also when you're propagating plants for sale, you can have a better look at like the root system. Like you're cutting your plant to essentially repot that stem in soil. So you know what's in it. You know what's going on. You're not selling a whole plant. I guess those are two different types of sales,
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, just make sure you're selling a good plant. And then things happen, things can get caught up in the mail. Obviously, if you're purchasing domestically, it really shouldn't. Doesn't have to go through customs or any special thing like that. So it should get to you within, a few days. But I was kind of shocked when I took my plants to the post office a few days ago, and I was expecting them to be there in 2 days, and it said, well, it depended on where they lived in the country from me, but it was 4 to 5 days. And I was like, what the heck? I mean, Hoya will hold up in the mail for probably, I'd say, like 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Easily. But it's still scary because it's like, well, you don't want a plant to sit in a dark box that long.
Right. All right. Well, I think that wraps... I just killed a fungus gnat. I think that wraps it up. I hope that you enjoyed this discussion. And again, if you would like to hear from a tax professional about this and an accountant, maybe we can have her on the podcast. I was already planning on having her on my channel, so we could do doubles or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that would be a really good thing. So we'd be happy. I mean, of course, she's my mom, so she's going to say yes. So if that would be beneficial, let us know if you're really interested. And I think if you're interested in following, I forgot the end script. I feel like I haven't led an episode in so long. I'm like, what do we say? If you aren't following us on Instagram, you can find us at Potted Together on Instagram. And we post every week with our new episode. And we
at 7 a.m.
At 7 a.m.
7 a.m.
And we use that post more or less as a comment section for the podcast episode. So if you want to chat with us or others about anything we talked about today, you can head over there. You can follow all of us individually on Instagram, Not Dude, KNOT, Dude, My Clean Leaves, and De La Plants. We also have a YouTube channel, which if you want to see Nicole and Adam's setup for how they propagate plants to sell, their section of the video was very cool and very helpful to share that. So I would suggest checking that out. And
that was our last video, right?
Yeah.
When are we going to get another video posting, guys?
Well, we have to come up with an idea. Our goal is to have a new video within the first week of the month, first Monday of the month. So yeah, we should figure that out. We're approaching. It's October 14th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're also approaching close to the end of the season. So just for everybody who might be new this season, we do seasons. Saying that word so many times. Yeah, we are a seasonal podcast because we like to give ourselves time to refresh and also get ahead for the next release. So we're going to take a break after Thanksgiving or before Thanksgiving?
The holidays.
Before
Thanksgiving.
Right before.
So yeah.
So we only have 2 episodes to go.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I guess we are getting pretty close to that. So yeah. We're going to take a break for the holidays and then come back in January. And we did the same thing last year and it was great. It was a good refresher. And we'll be recording the whole time, getting prepared. So again, if you have any episode ideas, you can always leave those in the comments or DM us. Nicole is very good at checking our DMs and sharing with us if somebody shares something sweet. We still get comments from certain episodes. So, and I think we'll probably post reruns during the break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every once in a while.
That's a good idea.
Okay. Well, that's enough business for me. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you, my friends, for joining us. You too, I'm talking to. Thank you for being here. And
thank you for having me.
Oh, I didn't have you. Your mom did.
Oh my gosh. Mom jokes.
Okay, we'll see you next time. Bye.
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 Gear Patrol calls their new dive watch the best sub-$500 dive watch. Full stop. Men's Health rated them as the most stylish solar watch in the game. Who are we talking about? It's Movement. They're leveling up your gift giving with the sleekest watches you can buy and the biggest deals of the season. Shop 30 to 50% off Movement's innovative California clean watches, jewelry, and accessories with fast free shipping and returns now at mvmt.com. That's mvmt.com.